Our show is produced by Green Alliance of Nevada, sponsored by NV Energy. I'm your host, Stan Hanel, here in studio with our producer, Annette Bubak. And today we've been talking about jargon and terminology and buzzwords and different things that surround the electric utility industry, also emerging energy storage industry, electric car industry. And we tried to look at some of the meanings of those words, how the historical perspective, how they came to be, and how electricity travels through the lines and comes through our walls, through our outlets, and is available like water 24/7 every day. We also had a recent event up in Reno last week that talk more about the electric car industry and some of the things that are going on in the state. Annette, do you want to bring us up on that?
I do, thanks. But before I talk about that, I just want to say, Stan, I'm so thankful that you're actually bringing up these topics today, because this terminology probably isn't common terminology amongst most of us, but I do believe with time, because of all of the electrification of everything that we're doing, is going to be the new terminology that we're going to have to get used to using and understanding, because that's going to be extremely relevant to our day-to-day activities and usage and whatnot. So I'm really glad that we are covering this today from an educational viewpoint, because it's applicable.
Yeah, I think people adapt. I mean, I remember when the IBM PC just came out, and it's like, how are people going to know how to handle this computer? And
right.
Somehow we did, and then smartphones came along,
right.
and we adapted to that. So I think over time we're going to, everybody, it'll become easier.
Exactly. The understanding and you don't have to really understand the technical and the scientific side of it to be able to use all of this, but the more you know, the more you can manage it, which I think is great to know. But so yeah, and of course, one of our favorite topics on the show is electric transportation or alternative fuel type transportation. Mm-hmm. And so the Green Alliance partnered with SWEEP in our way of debuting as the Green Alliance becomes more of a statewide nonprofit organization, mm-hmm. Where we'll be bringing a lot of our initiatives into the northern Nevada area as well as the southern Nevada area. And how we debuted it is we held the Electric Transportation Forum, mm-hmm. There in Reno at the Innovation Center, which is powered by Switch.
Right.
Really nice facility, so kudos to them and thank you for them for hosting us. Tom Polakalis was really our champion in organizing this forum. But the idea was to talk about we truly are at a pivotal point when it comes to electrification of our transportation. And so the day's forum was intended to take it from a high-level conversation. What are some of the trends that are happening? What are some of the innovations? What are some of the policies that are all in place.
Right, or that it will have to be made in place later.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
And so that we can kind of come together as we move forward with this incredible conversation and topic. So the day we kicked it off with Senator Spearman, who is just a champion in regards to innovation and looking forward and playing forward and not necessarily hanging on to the old ways of doing things, right. like the stories we told today of the Nikola and Edison,
right.
Battle.
Tesla and Edison, the War of the Currents.
Yeah,
right?
The War of the Currents, which is a 100-year-old technology that we've been living with, and now we're right at that point of change.
Yeah, actually, DC is having a comeback, especially low voltage DC, and we're seeing more and more LED lights being used. They don't need 110 volts; they need maybe 5 volts.
Exactly.
So a lot of folks are looking at alternative ways to harness DC in your house and save a lot of energy and time as well.
Which is great, right? I mean, it's great that we're starting to break through and understand that there's applications that are better from one type to the other.
That's for
sure. And so Senator Spearman kicked it off, and her passion is the importance of going towards renewables, whether it be solar or wind or even geothermal, and she's just a champion. What she really points out to is the importance on national security. I mean, she is passionate, and that woman kicked it off like there was just everybody was just like in awe when she was finished with her discussion of the importance of national security, because we just don't realize how what our wars are all about, right? And the sacrifices that our troops make while they're protecting the transportation of
worldwide transportation,
worldwide transportation,
energy flow, and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Or even getting fuel to our troops, right? And that there's, often they are often targets for that. So she covers this topic tremendously. We'll have her on the show. She's said that she'd be happy to come on and share.
Yeah, and she's a veteran as well.
She's
That's a good perspective for her.
Yep. And anyway, she was fabulous. And then we were able to have Angela Dykema come and talk to us about what the state is doing at the State Office of Energy, which is, as you know, the governor's office, and in regards to the electric highway.
Right.
And we were able to.
Highway, yeah.
She was able to show the map of where we will have at one point when it's all done. Every 50 miles, we will have a charging station for.
Oh, fantastic. DC fast charge and be able to recharge in minutes instead of taking an hour or 4 hours to recharge. So that's a good breakthrough. A lot of it coming from some of the funding is coming from I think through the Nevada Department of Environmental Protection as well.
Yes, yeah.
There's a Volkswagen
settlement fund,
from the Dieselgate scandal. That there's money coming towards that to help with an Electrify America program, I think that is doing.
And so it makes it actually doubles the amount of stations that we're going to have, because before the plan was to go every 100 miles, if you remember, and now the plan is to go every 50 miles. So it's going to be, the fear of range is going to completely go away. The other thing that I found interesting is that the collaboration between the Western region versus just one state by itself on an island, how they're actually interfacing and working collaboratively. I thought that was brilliant, and it's also, looking forward in such a much more positive way, and leveraging everybody's resources to be able to make driving from one state to the next comfortable.
That helps a lot. Yeah, the REV program, it's a regional EV program by the National Governors Association. That way they don't duplicate efforts. They work together in harmony, and they get the most for bang for the buck for all the states.
Yeah, and they're leveraging not just funds but knowledge,
right,
and which is critical when you're doing things for the first time. Is there's a learning curve, and so by collaborating they're able to bring everybody's intelligence to the table and plan it out a lot more masterfully. So
do more strategic mapping, because we're looking at putting DC fast charge stations along Highway I-5, I guess, across I-15, I-80, so all the interstate highways, they need that collaboration. Right,
which we know is the number one fear of people choosing to go with an electric vehicle. Well, that range anxiety is, should go away. I mean, we know on a local level, how many chargers do we have just in southern Nevada?
Probably a couple hundred now. It started with just 30, and so we've really branched out. And the level 2 is not that expensive, but when we go up to DC fast charge, then there's a little more cost involved, and so we need that extra funding to get those in place. Wanted to thank all our listeners for their time and for sharing with us, and we hope to be back next week with new guest speakers, and we'll be talking with Valley Electric Association at that time.
Thanks, Stan. Have a good day.